My name is Kristi and I love stories. I used to love stories when I was young for the plethora of characters and how exciting and engulfing the adventures were, and also for how good always prevailed over evil, how the hero just slayed the evil dragon and then everybody lived happily ever after. And then after that, now that I'm a, let's say, fairly functional adult, I love them for how they profoundly, let's say, define some fundamental truths for life. So here I am, a 20-year-old boy living some 200 years after Carlo Collodi, telling you about my journey to the stomach of a whale, fighting a bloody battle with the entropy of the universe, trying to save the eternal human soul. So obviously, as every other child, I was brought to my parents by a stork. Okay, maybe that's not completely true, but there are definitely some romantic and traditional bits in me. I went to a local school in Elbasan and both my parents were teachers. So we all left home and then came back from school at the same time every day. That was 2 p.m. And after that we had our small napping time when everybody could do whatever as long as it was quite enough so that we were not disturbing anyone, and also it was relaxing so that we could recharge our batteries and then be ready to fulfill our other tasks of the day. And then I had a fairly solid daily routine, and I was quite studious, and I think that served me well. In fact, I was fairly sure that I was doing whatever was necessary for me to have a bright future, maybe green enough so that I could have all the coloring pens and candies that I could ever wanted. But then there came a time when I started looking for something else, something that now I can define as meaning. And this is the thing. This is what I think parents are supposed to do. They are supposed to provide a solid island for children and then just let them go and explore the world, knowing fully well that they will face challenges and also maybe get hurt, but that's okay. Because they can always go back to their safe island, to their parents. And that's how they expand their map of known world. But then, how do you actually start this exciting, but then fairly challenging quest for meaning? How do you go beyond your insecurities and go out there and face the world? I am just about your age, and maybe I cannot provide you with the refined wisdom that more senior people can provide you with. However, I do have some effective tools that have proven to be useful, and that would be our capacity to adapt, to learn, and also to think. And all these meet in one place, and that's education. After completing 9th grade, I had to go to high school, and we all know how stressful and emotionally intense that period of time can be. However, my keenness for education served me well. In fact, I got a scholarship for a boarding school in Durrës, and that was it for me. My parents just dropped me to my dorm room and then they left. It was fine at first, but then how could I live with complete strangers so far away from my safe island? And let me tell you, those were not the best times. In fact, there were some pretty dark moments in there. I was not the best at making friends and maybe a little bit nerdy. However, this is the thing I learned from that experience. When playing with other people, your primary goal should not be winning, but instead maximizing the number of games you get to play. And so I started doing what I knew how to do best, and that was learning, but also teaching other people. And so soon enough, my dorm room was flooded with peers which were ready to teach me how to be a good friend, and in exchange I would teach them how ionic and covalent bonds work. And that's how it went. But then I also have another piece of wisdom to share with you right now. So the most powerful hero is born at the darkest of times, and knowing that fully well, God only knew what the limit to what I could achieve was. My admiration for education led me to love for the people around me. So chemistry is what makes the world sweet. That was my cry of epiphany when I left my first science class holding a piece of cake in my hands, enjoying the sweetness of knowledge. And since then, sweetness led to knowledge, and knowledge led to passion, and passion led to chemistry. And so, studying chemistry, I became fascinated by the undefined potential that lies in our DNA, and also by the how our world is so dynamic. Embracing this field, I will say embrace the countless questions and sources of knowledge that come with it. Participating in the second Albanian Science and Engineering Fair, I took a more philosophical approach to it while researching about the link between chemical balances, neurological activity, and also the effect that religious meditation can have in it. And so I found out that besides learning, I could also use the tool of research to provide myself with my own answers. Furthermore, I discovered that besides exploring chemistry, I also love teaching it. I will leave modesty aside for a moment and speak with an open heart. Besides all the positive approach and my research and all that, it is fairly challenging to meet the standards of education. And so I had to do an extensive amount of research myself and also surpass all my imperfect adolescent moments not wanting to get a book in my hands. But then in the end of the process, I finished by going to 3 different schools, high schools in Albania and United States. And then this whole process taught me how important access to education is, and also how crucial the role of an inspiring teacher can be. And going beyond myself, helping my peers with whom I share the same dreams, I discovered my passion for teaching. Exuberant, curious, and yet vulnerable, I was about to cross the time barrier between the old and the new world, the Atlantic Ocean, and then dive into the unknown. Stepping on the Ronald Reagan airport, together with my fellow friends from Europe, Asia, and Africa, I dived in a country of remarkable vitality. The noisy roads, the monuments, and all the people all hurrying up to go somewhere made me feel part of the process of making this world a little better. And so, I was not there by accident. In fact, I knew where I was heading for. It was Pruitt Ranch Road, Texas. After having lived almost all my life in a country with an extraordinary homogeneous population like Albania, now I was moving to a small city in central Texas where Native Americans, African Americans, and Caucasians all live together as one people. I lived with a Shanks family. Both my parents were born in New Hampshire, and then they had moved to Texas. My host sister was from Mexico, my host father had studied in Italy, and my host mother had served in South Korea. My chemistry teacher was from Chile, and then my calculus teacher was from Germany. And all this diversity taught me how important it is to stand for what I believe, even if walking on unknown grounds. My American host father taught me how important and strong a well-formulated argument based on the unshakable grounds of facts and knowledge can be. And then my American teachers nourished in me the spirit of a leader and a risk-taker, the same spirit that is leading me now in all my undertakings. After all this, I finally knew how to bear the unbearable weight of the unknown. This is how you do it. You dream big, you dream very, very big, and then you split the whole process in small, numerous achievements, which you can actually fulfill every day, and you will see that as you go on, as you make process, the difficulty of these tasks will increase, but also their importance will increase. And in fact, your ability to process these small chunks of achievements will increase. And in the end, you will see that you will have accomplished a great deal. Upon my return to Albania, I considered it a social responsibility to give back to my community and my fellow peers that dreamed just as big as me. And then after joining the ETG family, this goal amplified, let's say, 100 times. Even though I was blessed with the potential of youth, here I found a structure, a well-structured foundation led by visionary people that helped me organize my ideas. In fact, the words like educational revolution or UN goals or sustainability were common diction in here. Together with Elvis, we became the closest allies of teachers during the COVID-19 crisis, where we provided training for more than 200 teachers in Albania on how to use educational softwares. Besides that, together with my colleagues, Besi, Clyde and Andy, we participated in the European Vocational Education Week, where we give speeches that were not only technical but also inspirational. So that was a great deal. And then now again, let's have a small piece of advice here. If you are winning at everything you do, then you're probably not trying anything new. I was introduced to the real utility of object-oriented programming here at ETG during my internship. And that was not only some theoretical knowledge, but it was also a very tangible example. And so such fundamental effect had this internship on me that I actually shifted part of my major to bioinformatics. And yet, even though I was used to being competent in my field of expertise almost the whole time, now I found myself to be completely ignorant in the field. But then, if you want to try new things, then you have to risk being incompetent, and that's okay. Ever wondered why the golden cases are always protected by a fierce dragon? Well, that is because the most valuable possibilities lie where the most perilous threat is. Thank you.